Okay, so we're back, and today, like we mentioned, we're going to be talking to Miss Adelaide Benavides, Miss Addie Benavides,
Yes.
former student of mine at Texas State. We'll have to ask her when we talk to her.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what year she came in, but it was early 2000s. She was in the early to mid 2000s, somewhere in those years. Mm-hmm. I think her last semester at Texas State, I believe, was the fall of 2006. But we'll ask her for sure about that.
2006. That's a good year. Was that a good year for you?
It was a good year.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember. I say every year's a good year, and I don't even remember. What's cool thing about having Addie is, she's a former student at Texas State and all that. So I know her when she came in and graduated and all that. So I think a good thing to get to talk about, before we bring Miss Addie, because we'll get a lot of information from Addie about this. Let's talk about, how we got into college. I'd like to, talk to you about how you got into college and your experiences, maybe your freshman year.
Yeah.
I'll talk about how I got into college back in the Stone Age.
It's not the Stone Age.
Well, the Bronze Age.
The Bronze Age, no.
I'll go first since I'm the oldest. Since mine's a long time ago. So I graduated from high school in 1984. That's when I graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. I still have somewhere in my annual. I have to look it up. I'll have to find it. But in my annual, I have the letter, the acceptance letter I got from SWT.
Did you get a letter?
I got a letter.
I'll talk to you about my acceptance, but go ahead.
Now I should say, not only was it a letter, but it was like it was on a typewriter, typed.
So you're saying that somebody
physically typed this letter, and it's on SWT.
Sir, you're selling your age.
Well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were SWT back then in Southwest Texas State University, and I got a letter. I had absolutely, growing up and all that, I had absolutely no idea I was even going to go to college. Mm-hmm. Much less wind up being a professor at a university. That was never, my mindset. I mean, I played drum set, when I was a freshman in high school, I started playing drum set with rock bands. So I thought I was going to be a rock star,
Yeah.
All of us thought that back then. We all thought we were going to be rock stars. And so had no idea. And then I got into band. And I started liking reading music and learning about music in that way. Because when you're in rock bands in high school, you're learning music by ear, which is a valuable skill.
Oh, yeah.
And sure. I count a lot of my successes, not only in college, but after college as a professor, on skills I learned before as a rock drummer, learning songs from recordings, learning how to mimic professionals.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress on that. And so then, once I got into band and all that, then I said, you know what, I want to major in music. I remember going up to my band director. I said, hey, I'm really liking this stuff. Mm-hmm. I think I want to become a music major.
Válgame Dios.
Válgame Dios. And I remember, my family, my mom, I mean, she didn't graduate from high school.
Yeah.
When her and her family came from Mexico, I mean, my mom was a singer. My dad was a mariachi musician, but neither one of them graduated from high school. I don't think my mom went past middle school. Mm-hmm. And then she started working, and then, I mean, like, not working, singing, like working.
Yeah, like regular.
Doing stuff for people, cleaning houses, doing laundry, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then she got into singing. So college was never, I mean, my mom's hope was that she could raise her sons to graduate from high school. That was her big hope, because that was the next accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
She didn't graduate from high school, so the next accomplishment would be her sons graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. So college was never in the picture, and I didn't know anything about it. My mom didn't know anything about it. And that's something that's really common in the Latino culture.
Yes.
Is that, you don't have anybody in your immediate surroundings, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, that have any college experience. So you really don't even know who to talk to for like how to do a college application.
Yeah, exactly.
When I came in audition for to become a music major, my girlfriend brought me. My mom, nobody from my family even came with me. My girlfriend brought me. And it's not that my mom was being mean. Just none of us, including me, knew anything about the process. I really didn't understand what that was.
Yeah.
I did it because I was told, hey, come and play what you know. So I came and played what I know, what I knew. And that's how I auditioned and it was accepted and became a music major at Texas State and changed my life because, went to graduate school, got my master's and got hired and eventually became a tenured full professor at a university. I mean, that was not even part of the picture. So I guess
that's cool.
I guess the moral of that story,
that's really cool. Yeah,
is even if nobody around you, if you're Latino, you're out there and you're wondering, is this even for me? It is. Seek out people that can help you, even if nobody in your immediate family knows. There's a lot of help out there, and two, you don't necessarily have to think about the end result. Just walk through the immediate door. Mm-hmm. Walk through the doors that are in front of you, and 10 years down the road, you're going to look back and you got somewhere that you never even dreamed you were going to get to.
Yeah.
And don't be scared of walking through little doors. So that's, I guess, the moral of that story.
Yeah.
But once I was a university professor and I was in charge, obviously now I was recruiting young people to come to the university. You being one of them.
Yes.
I remember going to your high school because we started doing mariachi workshops there in Fort Worth ISD.
Yes.
And so we were going to your high school, Northside High School. And I remember your mariachi director, Ramon Niño, coming up to me and said, he was saying, hey, Mr. Lopez, I got a graduate senior, Alondra Morales. She's thinking about going to Texas Tech. She's got I was told by him, or I don't know, maybe he didn't tell me, or somebody told me that you had a full ride at Texas Tech. So that I had to overcome that somehow. So I remember talking to you and trying to convince you to come down to Texas State, and so that's how I first met you. And I was so happy when later on down the road I found out that you decided to come to Texas State. Now you weren't a music major at first, and I'll let you talk more about that in a second.
Yes.
But that's how I met you. So now you tell me, when you were in high school, what made you think about college and all that? How all that happened for you?
Well, college, and I love how you said it earlier, being a first generation, there is nobody. There is nobody to guide you. Your parents are not there to guide you because not because they don't want to, it's because they don't know. Yeah. And that is a struggle because everything is trial and error. And then there's this level of pressure on you to figure it out and to get it right because the college is expensive and that's not a mistake that you are technically allowed to have, right? So totally get you on that. I think I've shared before, I am the youngest of 3 sisters, and that doesn't mean that my sisters were not smart enough to go to college. My oldest sister, she had gotten scholarships and stuff like that, but college was out of the picture, out of the question because we couldn't afford it. And other than that, it's what? There's school after high school? So it was weird. So like I said, we didn't really talk about it. I remember having conversations with my mom, and we just didn't talk about that. But I knew that I wanted to go to college, and I knew that me going to college, I was going to have a better life, right? More than just a degree, it was I'm going to be able to have a job that I'm going to buy my own home. I'm going to have a car that I like to drive. That's what college really meant to me. It's that, American dream. It's that first generation goal that you really want.
Was there a teacher or a mentor, somebody that kind of was whispering in your ear about that?
No, I can't even say that there was because there really wasn't. It was just
No TV and movies?
I think it was a TV and movies that it was just if you go to college, you'll get a job that's really good and you can have a good life. I always knew the concept that if I wanted a good life, I needed to have a good job. In order to get those good jobs, I needed to have a degree.
Right.
And that was, at first, what I really wanted to do was not teaching. It wasn't education.
Right.
I wanted to be a fashion designer. I thought I was so good at fashion, which technically...
No, you are. You are. I mean, you have a great eye for that.
I wanted to be a fashion designer. And I was told through many teachers, cool, do fashion, but fashion merchandising is of such a niche degree that you're really not going to have that many job opportunities. Again, going back to, I really want a good job opportunity so I can have all the luxuries in life that I really want, right? Mm-hmm. And so I found a loophole. I wanted to do marketing. I wanted to do marketing, and I figured that if I do marketing, I can do somehow in fashion. How does that connect nowadays that I understand a little bit more about marketing? I don't know. But that's what I wanted to do. I applied for multiple schools. I applied for SMU. I applied for UT. And I applied for Texas State and Texas Tech. SMU and UT, I never finished the application. So I didn't get in. But technically, I probably could have gotten in. I graduated 6th in my class. So
Sixth?
6th.
6th, like from the top?
Yeah, from the top.
I graduated from the bottom. 6th from the bottom.
Stop. No, you did not. I graduated 6th from the top, and so I could have gotten in, but I didn't finish my application. Texas Tech, I don't know how I got in contact with what do you call those, chancellor?
Yeah, like a chancellor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Texas Tech has a chancellor.
Yes. And what is that, like a dean?
I guess a dean or a provost, something like that.
Yeah, it's somebody up there. I got in contact with the chancellor, and they gave me like a VIP tour to Texas Tech. So they paid for my family to go. They paid for
your whole family.
Yeah, like they paid for my mom and dad and my stepdad and my sister, and they paid for our hotel room. They paid for our mileage. They paid, I think they gave.
So they really wanted you there.
Yeah, they really wanted me to go.
As a marketing major, though.
No, that's the thing. It wasn't as a marketing major. They wanted me for the music.
Oh,
they wanted.
Did they know you were in mariachi?
Yeah, they knew I was in mariachi because I made that connection through mariachi, and they really wanted me. But I had been adamant and said no.
And Texas Tech was trying to get their mariachi program going.
Yes.
And so they thought,
Yes, and I even met Dr. Salazar. I met Dr. Salazar there, and but I wanted marketing.
Yeah.
I really wanted marketing, and so
you were terx, like my brother Gus says. Terca.
Oh.
He says terx.
Yeah, terx. Yeah, I really was. I really wanted to do that, and so I met you through the workshops through Mariachi Extravaganza, and that's how I met Alicia again, and.
Yeah, Alicia was helping us out. It was her first year.
Yes, really.
That was, I believe, because Alicia came in 2013, so she just came in a year before you.
Oh, okay. But she was older. She in a different grade level, I guess.
She was way older.
Stop. First of all, I did not say that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Alicia, if you're listening. I was joking.
She was in charge of the vocal class, and I was in her class. And that's how I got to meet her. And then I applied. I really don't even remember how much Texas Tech gave me, but I just felt inclined to go to. Texas State, and I got into the business program at Texas State.
As marketing, right?
As marketing, and I was in the School of Business, the Macomb School of Business. But I wanted to keep doing mariachi, and I auditioned for the mariachi. I got into M&G, and it wasn't until like the middle of fall. You and Miss Quintero came, pulled me aside, and y'all were like, hey, you would be a really good music major. Yeah. And then I was just like, I don't even know. I said, yeah, sure. I think
Were you not digging the marketing classes or something?
No, I wasn't. The counselor didn't put me into business classes yet. They just put me into like core classes. And so I got in and I was basically doing my basics. So I really wasn't in a business class. I was in business math. But I don't know.
Probably what wound up happening, I'm guessing, so correct me if I'm wrong, is a lot of your friends in the mariachi were music majors.
Yeah.
Alicia being one of them.
Yes.
Was a music major. So you were probably hanging out with music majors more than anybody else.
Good thing that you just said that. Yes. Because another thing that really drew me in to being a music major was going through the School of Music and seeing how people were friends.
Yeah.
And I remember going inside the Macomb School of Business and people not talking to each other.
Yeah.
What really enticed me was the lobby.
Yeah.
You know, the lobby, because everybody's talking. And then who can forget the choral spot checks when they were all start singing? Yeah. So it was a community that I wanted to be part of.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that also enticed me, and I ended up auditioning, and I made it, and I got into Miss Quintero's studio, and I ended up going the music route.
Yeah, yeah. I have to tell the story. I have to tell the story. I have to tell the story. I don't remember. I don't even know if it was the first rehearsal, but it was around the first rehearsal or first week of rehearsals. Yeah. You came in to Mariachi, and obviously we're starting class. And I remember you walking in. Now, going back to the fashion thing, you had this like crazy belt thing all wrapped up in your hair.
I was creative.
Like a belt.
I was creative.
Hey, it looked cool. But I do remember, hey, she's wearing a belt in her hair.
I don't know where I saw it. I think, you know who, and I know some listeners are probably going to know, some maybe not know. There used to be this really big YouTuber back in the day. Her name was Bethany Moda.
Okay.
And she was a DIY type of YouTuber, and I loved back in the day for fashion they would do lookbooks. So like they would display their outfits and like, oh, these are like 5 outfits, inspo ideas you can use for a date, or like fall ideas and stuff like that. And
one of them was belt in the hair.
No, maybe.
But that's where you got it.
I think that's where I got it.
You got it. Inspired to be creative.
And I ended up putting like a belt like here, and back in the day it was about the messy bun, and I had longer hair. I don't have long hair anymore. And I remember I put the belt and I put it in a ponytail, and I just wrapped up the rest of the belt, intertwined it with my hair, and I made it into like this Grecian headband.
Yeah.
And it was a thin belt. It was a thin belt. It was a thin belt, and it was the inner weave, so I don't want people to think I put like a black belt on my head.
Big old pilgrim buckle
with the buckle on top.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. No. But it was cool. But I'll never forget that. Yeah. Because it was like, I had to like do a double take.
You're like,
is that a belt? Yeah. But no, I mean, that was good. That going along with your fashion side.
Yeah.
But then you became a music major. Mm-hmm. And so that was cool. So let's go back to some of my music major stories. So when I was a freshman, let me see.
Were you hazed? I'm just kidding.
Was I hazed?
Yes.
No. I mean, it was a pretty friendly campus back then. I mean, you came in 2014 to Texas State University. I was in 2000. I was in 1984 to Southwest Texas. Yeah. Southwest Texas was a much smaller university. It was San Marcos was a smaller town back then. We didn't have that many students. I don't know, maybe 12,000, 13,000 students compared to 40-something we have now.
But it was a party school. It was
a party school, but it wasn't there wasn't a lot of hazing. It wasn't that big a school. Mm-hmm. And that party image really came from the 70s. It had already started fading away a little bit.
Really?
In by 84. It had faded away a little bit. I have a lot of great memories about my freshman year. It was a great experience in a lot of ways because that's really the first time I was away from home.
Yeah.
I mean, away from home and on my own. I'll be honest with you. You know how they make you come to summer orientation?
Yes.
We had to spend like 3 days, and they teach you you have to vomit Bobcat.
You have to vomit Bobcat? Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. So Bobcat. That first night of orientation, I cried myself to sleep.
Oh, talking about that, because you're away from home, right?
Yeah.
I paid extra money to have my mom there. And I honestly thought, I knew that we were going to stay in the dorms. But I honestly thought if I paid for my mom, then my mom was going to stay with me in the dorms. Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out that wasn't the case.
No?
That was not the case.
She paid extra money for what?
She stayed in another dorm.
Oh,
she stayed in another dorm. And I was just kind of like, ugh. And again, we don't know college. And so once I go into my dorm, the beds are empty. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we needed to bring our own sheets.
Yeah, and the bedding, right?
The bedding. You needed to bring all your own sheets. And
Pillows and sheets.
And I didn't know that. So my mom, bless her heart, she doesn't do GPS really well. And she found Walmart. And she went to go find linen for her bed and my bed.
Yeah.
And so, wow.
I don't. Maybe I knew that. I don't know. I don't remember if I knew about the linen, but I did cry myself to sleep that first time. Now, another reason why is I really felt like a fish out of water. The university you walked into had already changed a lot. Texas State was a different school. When I was in San Antonio, Edison High School, just a little Mexican American boy there from Edison High School's Central SAISD in San Antonio. I don't know, 95% of my high school was Hispanic. Almost all my friends were Hispanic, and it's not that I didn't like other cultures. It's just that's all that was around us.
Yeah.
And so when I came to Texas State, it was a very different culture. I felt it. I had never felt, not in a bad way, but I had never felt the minority status.
No, exactly. No, and I can say the same exact thing, and you are so right, because my school was 99% Hispanic. And that's all you know. And the customs, it's like, that's why, like this goes out to the kids that didn't peak in high school. I didn't peak in high school. The high school was not it for me. When you go to college and you experience college, it's a culture shock. There's people from all over the state, rich, poor, different customs, and again, my high school was primarily Hispanic. I had to deal with, I hate to say that, we're cut here, like white people, like we had to deal with other people of other, races. Other races,
other cultures. Same thing here. Again, I made lifelong friends when I came to college, but they were very different. It was very, very different people from what the people I knew in high school. Now, that turned out to be a different thing because I started enjoying the differences. I started understanding the differences. I started enjoying those differences. But so I pressed forward, even though at first it was very scary. Yeah. Like I said, crybaby. I cried myself to sleep the first night. But eventually I liked it. What I really enjoyed is being away from home.
Yeah.
So those were some good things. But the other thing of being away from home is now I was 100% responsible for getting myself to class. 100% responsible for washing my clothes and making sure I had food to eat and stuff like that. So, those are learning curves. I'm not going to say I had 100%, attendance my freshman year. Those are learning curves. Let's leave it at that.
Oh my God, Texas State. I remember I hope they fix this. But I would hate, we're talking about washing clothes. I would hate washing my clothes at the laundromats at the dorms or whatever, where they would have all the washer and dryers, because it always smelled like mildew.
Yeah.
And then your clothes smell like mildew.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so annoying.
Yeah. It is what it is. 'Cause how many people use those? Now, back when I was in college, I don't know if this is true when you were in dorms, but back when I was in dorms, there were strict rules on male and female dorms.
Oh, yeah.
There were male dorms and there were female dorms. And when I visit, I had a couple of friends that were females, when I would visit them in their dorms, when they're when I walk in and say, hey, we're visiting them and we're in the lobby and say, hey, well, come up to my room, we're going to watch some TV. And I'd go with them. They would have to yell when I'm walking down the hall, man in the room, man in the hall, man in the hall. They'd have to yell that.
No.
So that, because since it was an all-female dorm, everybody felt comfortable in just walking out of the shower in just a towel. So they had to yell, man in the hall, man in the hall.
No.
So that nobody walks in the hall.
No, I definitely did not feel that comfortable. No. I remember, because you were at Arnold, right?
Arnold Hall, yeah.
You were in Arnold Hall, and I was in Smith, right? We had community.
Those are actually pretty close together.
Yes, they're right next to each other.
Right.
They're old.
Yeah,
they're super old, and I don't even know if they're still around.
They were old when I went to college.
They were old when you went to college. I remember going to the community shower. I had to have my sandals. I had to have my caddy. I had to have extra clothes. I would I did not understand how they were people. And again, culture shock that people are so comfortable just walking around in a towel in front of strangers. I don't know you. Put some clothes on.
Yeah.
I'm not about that.
Yeah, people used to tell me that all the time. No, I'm joking. No.
You were
no, not only was this community shower, which I've never, even when I was in middle school and coaches make you shower, I hated that.
You didn't like showering?
I mean, it's not that I don't mind showering. I just hated the showering in front of a bunch of other guys.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. So when I was in the dorms, obviously they had, the community shower, which we all had to use in the hall. But the thing that was more annoying than the community shower is the prison toilet that they had that had no walls. It's just a toilet in the middle of the room.
Wait, you had a prison?
It's like a prison toilet.
No, wait.
Yeah, it's just a toilet in the middle of the room with no walls. It's like, hey, what's going on, buddy? I was like, what the heck is this?
And who would
I'm never going to the restroom then. I always had to run down to the music building and go to the restroom.
You would go down the hill?
I'd have to go down the hill to go to the restroom. I couldn't go in a prison restroom.
There was no stalls?
There was no walls.
Yeah.
There was a toilet, 2 toilets, where you can be talking to another guy in the toilet next to you. But there were no walls, no doors. It's just like, hey.
No.
Hey.
No.
And I was just like, I can't.
No.
There's no way. So, yeah, those were culture shocks. It's like, the guys are like, come on, dude, we're all men around here. We're bros, right? It's like, get out of here with that. I can't.
No.
I can't. I remember. Those are different things that I had to get used to.
Communal restrooms, and because again, we in Smith Hall, I guess we were a little bit more sophisticated and reserved. We'd had stalls. There was multiple, and then there was 2 big showers. And then there was like 3 sinks. I remember because I didn't want people to see me in the communal shower. I would wake up super early.
Oh, yeah.
I would wake up like at 5, 6 in the morning and go shower and then go back to bed. Yeah, I would do that.
You were smart. I just didn't shower. I'm joking. Oh, but no, the showers weren't too bad. But I would shower at night, mainly stuff like that.
See, people were always up at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
You're bringing back nightmares.
Yeah.
Bad memories. So. But
yeah,
all part of the learning experience, because these are the things when you go to college.
Yeah.
First of all, these are the things that make you grow as a person because you're experiencing different things. So I'm all about the experiences. And as we can obviously tell, creates lifelong memories, if not emotional scars.
More emotional scars. Yes, but we're excited to hear.
So let's get to Miss. Enough about dorm nightmares. So we're going to be talking to Adelaide Benavides here in a little bit. She's going to have lots of great memories and great. I want to get to know more about her before Texas State life, how she got into that, and what she's been doing afterwards.
Yes. So
it's going to be a lot of fun. So
let's get into it.
We'll come back to that.